Hello my dear friends, I welcome you all to my channel. This video is part of the playlist Python Beginners Daily Dose, where I try to come up with some useful information about the fundamental programming of Python and some information on the Python standard library. So this is part 6 video of the series of video on the functions defined in the module os.path, which deals with common Pathname manipulations. All functions defined in this module os.path takes a path or a file as argument. In the previous 5 videos, part 1 to 5, 6, I have discussed about various other functions related to path from this module. I highly suggest that you also watch those videos if you want to have a good understanding of all the common Pathname manipulations functions implemented in the module os.path. In this video, I will discuss about some functions that deals with the metadata information of a file, like the access time of a file, modification time of a file, creation time of a file, and the size of a file, and some boolean function that says whether a path is a file or directory, or it's a symbolic link. So if you are new to my channel or not yet subscribed, or if you are watching my videos for the first time, or you are visiting my channel for the first time, I strongly suggest and request that you support me by subscribing to my channel, and also please do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. So let's get started with this video. Okay, so I have written down all the functions, their type and their basic return types, and what argument it takes on the right hand side on a very concise notes. So the metadata information functions that is getAtime, access time, getmtime, that is get modification time, and getctime. These are functions that deals with that returns a time from the given path, and this time is a floating point number. That represents the number of seconds passed since the last epoch, and the last epoch is considered as 1st January 1970 as per UTC time. Okay, so now let's understand what these functions are one by one. So for using these functions, definitely you have to first import the module os.path. So let's import the module os.path and give a alias name as p. Okay, also I will require to import the module os to access some time related function. So I am importing os. Okay, now so on the left hand side above, I am running the Python 3 interpreter shell, and on the below I have my terminal where I will create some files and directories, temporary files and directories, and symbolic links for the purpose of discussing this video. Okay, so let's first create a file and a link to that file, a directory and a link to that directory, and also let's create a link which is a broken link, that is, it does not point to anything. So let me create a file. Let's say demo. Let's say demo file. Okay. Let's create a directory, demo directory, and in my current home directory, which is /users/costuf, let's create a temporary file. I'm using the touch command. So I'm in Unix. So touch, let's say demo file .txt, and let's okay. Now let's create a soft link, which is a symbolic link, a soft link to the demo directory. So the command is ln -s and the directory to which for which I am creating the link, that is demo directory, and the name of the link. Let's say I name it demo dir underscore link. Now, so if I do an ls minus lp, you will see if I do ls minus demo directory and link, you will see that it is showing that it is pointing to the demo directory. Okay. Now let's create a symbolic link to the demo file. So I will create demo underscore. So I will create a symbolic link to the file demo underscore file .txt, and I will give the name as demo. I will give the name as demo file underscore file underscore link. So the name of the symbolic link is, I am creating everything in my current directory. So the name of the link is demo underscore file underscore link, which is a symbolic link to the actual file demo underscore file .txt. Okay. Now let's create another directory. Let's say demo directory underscore 2, and I will create a link to this demo directory underscore 2, and will it give the name demo underscore directory underscore 2 underscore link. But now I will make this link, symbolic link that I just created, that is demo underscore directory underscore 2 underscore link, I will make it broken by removing the actual directory, that is demo underscore directory underscore 2. See, if I have removed the demo actual directory demo underscore dir underscore 2, but the symbolic link still exists. Like if I do demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link, it is showing that it is pointing to the directory demo underscore dir underscore 2, but this directory does not exist. So the link is a broken link. So I have created some file and directory and some symbolic link to them and a broken link, just for the demo purpose of this video. Okay. Now let's see. Let's call the function get access time of let's say I will the path. Let's start with the file that I just created, demo file. So it will be demo underscore file .txt. So it is giving a floating point number. Now this is a floating point number, which is basically the number of seconds that has passed since the last epoch, and the last epoch is 1st January 1970 as per UTC time zone. Now if you want to display or have this time, the number of seconds passed since last epoch, if you want to have this in a string form, that is, if you want to know the time, the last access time of the file in a string format, then you can use the function ctime inside the time module. So let me first import the module time, and then if I called time, the function ctime, which is defined inside the module time, and I will pass it will need a number of seconds, that is a floating point number, that is the number of seconds passed since last epoch. Now, and then it will return the time in the string format. So what I will, let's do one thing. Let's call again the get access time and save the number of seconds passed, that is the floating point return time in a variable. Let's say this is t. I've saved it in t. So t now will have the number of seconds. The number of seconds is since last epoch. That is basically the time of the last access time of the file. And the time is its value is a floating point number, which is representing the number of seconds since the last epoch. Okay. So if I just print t, it will showing the floating point number. Now I will invoke the ctime, which takes a floating point number as the number of seconds passed since last epoch, and it will return the time in a string format. So if I do ctime t, it is showing Tuesday, September 3rd, 21st, 21 hours that is right now it is 9 p.m. 9 p.m. past 21 minutes. So it is showing when it was created. At that time it was, I guess, 9 p.m. 16 minutes. Okay. So this is how you access. You can call the get access time, that is getTime, on a path, and you will get as a return a floating point number which represents the number of seconds passed since last epoch, and from that floating point number you can get the time in string format using the time.ctime function from the time module. Okay. Now similarly, if I call the modification time, it should return the same because I did not modify the file after that once it was created. So get modification time should return the same value. I can see the value is same. If I call the C time, it is pretty much the same. Now let's say I again modify change the modification time of the file by just calling a touch command, not just using touch command. If you run the command touch, which is in Unix or in Linux, touch and a file name, it will just change the modification time of the file as per the current time. Okay. Now if I again call the get modification time and save it in T, and then I call time.ctime to see the time in string format, I can see that it is showing 9:21 hours, 13:23 minutes, that is 9 p.m. 23 minutes. Okay. So as you can see that it is showing that the last modification, the modification time has changed. Now what is, so this was get access time, that is getTime, get modification time, that is getmtime. Let's see what is get ctime. Now the get ctime function, if you call it with a path, there the get ctime function in Unix like systems, it will return simply the ctime, systems ctime, and which is basically the time at which the metadata information of the file was changed. The metadata, the time at which the last modification of metadata of the file. Now let's see what it is. Now if I call, I invoked get ctime on the same file name and saved the floating point value, return value, which is the number of seconds passed last epoch in the T, and if I print the T in a string format, I get 9 p.m. 23 minutes and 11 seconds. So it is basically the same as the modification time. But this same function get ctime for Windows like system, it will return the creation time of the file, of the path. In Windows, I cannot test it in Windows. The function get ctime in Windows system will return the creation time of the file, that is the time at which the file was created. Okay. So that was so I am as of now testing for a file which exists. So the file is exist. Okay. So I tested for a file, a regular file. This will also work for any directory or link. So let's quickly run all these functions on a let's say on the directory. So I have created the demo directory. Let's see. Okay, so I saved it in T, and let's see what is T. It is 9 p.m. 16 minutes. So it is showing the last access time of the directory. Similarly, it will also work for the link, demo directory link. Okay, so these are the get access time, get modification time, get access time, and get ctime will all work for a file, a regular file, or a directory, or a symbolic link. Okay. So the thing to note is that they all return a floating point number, and that floating point represents the number of seconds passed. It represents the current. It represents the time as the number of seconds passed since last epoch, and last epoch is 1st January 1970. Okay. Now let's before testing what happens if the supplied path is an invalid path, or it does not exist, or if it is a link and a broken link, what it will happen. I will test that later on. But before that, let's quickly test the other functions, that is whether given path is a file, regular file. Isfile means it's a regular file. Isdirectory, isdir means it's a directory, and islink means it's a link. So let's quickly test those functions. So isfile, if I give as demo underscore directory, this will return false because the demo underscore directory is a directory. So if I just do this, it will return false. When if I do demo underscore file dot txt, it was a regular file and it will give true. Also, if I give a demo underscore file underscore link, this was a link to the demo file dot txt. Now this is a link. Now this should return false because we are invoking isfile on a link. It is returning true. Okay. Why is demo file demo underscore file underscore link was a link to sorry, okay, I got it. Now okay, so you see that when I give a link, the link I am invoking the isfile function on a link, it is returning true. Why? Because if you invoke all these 6 functions, that is get access time, get modification time, get ctime, isfile, isdirectory or islink, if you invoke all these functions with a path where the path is a symbolic link, then it will follow the symbolic link. It will follow the symbolic link except when you are calling islink. When you are calling islink on a link, it will right away understand that it is a link and it will return true. But when you are calling isfile or isdirectory on a link, let's say when I am invoking this isdirectory on the demo directory underscore link, demo underscore directory underscore link is a symbolic link to the directory demo underscore link. So when I am invoking this, it will first see the demo underscore directory underscore link is a link and it will follow the symbolic link. It will follow the symbolic link until the actual file or directory is reached, and if it see that the actual file or directory is a directory, then only this will return true. But if after following the symbolic links, the final directory entry, the actual directory entry reached after following all the links, if it is a file, then isdirectory will return false. So if I invoke demo underscore file underscore link with isdirectory, this is returning false because demo underscore file underscore link is actually pointing to a file, whereas demo underscore dir underscore link was actually pointing to it was a symbolic link to a directory. That's why it is returning true. And if you call islink, definitely it will not going to follow the symbolic link because you are testing whether the supplied path is a link or not, that is a symbolic link or not, and demo underscore dir underscore link is a link, so it will return true. Also demo underscore file underscore link is a link, it is a link to an actual file, so this will also return true. Okay, now so that was all about testing these functions with path name which exists. Now if you supply the path which does not exist, or the path is not accessible, meaning the user whoever is running the script and calling this function, if that user does not have proper permission to access the file, then some error, OS error will happen. Let's see. Let's first call these functions with a path which is invalid. So get access time, if I call on some arbitrary file which does not exist, it will return OS error, which is it is returning file not found error, which is basically a subclass exception of OS error. So no such file or directory. Okay. Similarly, this kind of error, file not found error, will be thrown if you call any other function like modification time or get C time, or even let's say isfile. Okay. So isfile, the functions isfile, isdirectory and islink will not throw any error if the path does not exist, or you do not have possibly you do not have any permission to access the file. So I can say isfile is returning false, it is not throwing any error. And similarly, if I have a demo, if I pass a directory demo underscore directory underscore 3 which does not exist, and if I invoke the function isdir, it is returning false. So no exception is throwing. Isfile, isdirectory and islink. Let's try islink. All this function will not throw any exception if the path supplied does not exist. Then it will just return false, which is obvious, it does not exist. Now demo, let's say islink, it will return false. Okay, now let's see what happens if I call islink on a link which on a link which is a broken link. So there was a broken link I created. What was that link? Okay, demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link. Okay, so if I demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link, this is a broken link because this link initially was pointing to the directory demo underscore dir underscore 2, and I removed the directory later on demo underscore dir underscore 2. So that left this link demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link to be a broken link. Now if I call islink, what will happen? It is returning true. Okay, so it is returning true. So if the link, if you are passing path, if you are calling the islink function and if you are passing a link, and if that link is broken, then also it will return true, because it will simply check whether this the path specified is a link or not. Whether it's a broken link or not, it will not check. So if it's a link, then it will return true, and if it's not, if the type of the file is not a link, anything other than link, then it will return false. Let's say it is false. Okay, so what will happen? So similarly, okay, so one important thing to note is that if the link is link, it will not throw any exception if you pass a broken link. It will simply return true because anyway it's a link. And what happens if I, let's say I invoke get last access time on a link which is a broken link? Let's see. Now demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link is a broken link. It does not point to anything. It is a broken link. Now if I invoke get access time on this link, what will it return? It should follow the symbolic link. It should follow the symbolic link and reach the actual directory entry to whatever this link is pointing to. Now when it will if it tries to follow this link, it should run into an error. Let's see what this returns. Okay, file not found error. Okay, so you see, if you run get access time or get modification time or get C time, all the functions related to metadata of a file, and if you pass a link which is broken, it will throw file not found error. It will throw file not found error. Modification time, it will throw file not found error. File not found error. Okay, so but what if I, okay, so the functions get access time, get modification time and get C time. If you pass, give a link, symbolic link as a path, and if that link is a broken link, it will throw file not found error exception. But whereas the other three functions, isfile, isdirectory, or islink, if you pass a link, irrespective of whether it's a broken link or it's a broken link or not, it will simply return true because it's a link anyway. Okay, so that was all regarding the 6 functions that I wanted to discuss. The first 3 functions are related to getting the metadata information of a file, that is the last access time, the last modification time, and the last creation time of a file. And so we tested this function for directory, file, and link. And the other 3 functions, these are type checking file, it checks the type of the file, of the path. So isfile will return true if the given path is a file, regular file or not, and if path specified is a symbolic link, it will follow the symbolic link. It will follow the symbolic link until it reaches the actual file or actual directory entry. Then from the directory entry, it will say whether it's a regular file or directory. Now, in this case, if the path is a link, and if it is a link and if it is a broken link, then also isfile will return. Okay, let's see what will the demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link is a broken link. So what is isfile returning? It is returning false because demo underscore dir underscore 2 underscore link is not a regular file, it is a link, it is a symbolic link. That is why it is returning false, but it is not showing any, it is not throwing any exception error. It is not throwing any exception. Simply if I called, similar way if I call is directory on a broken link, it will return false because it is not a directory. Okay. What if false? Okay. But in the case of get access time, get modification time, get creation time, if you pass a broken link, then it will throw file not found error exception. So that was all regarding these 6 functions: get modification time, get access time, get c time, which returns the time of last access time, time of last modification time, and time of last creation time regarding on the given path name. And this time is a floating point number which represents the number of seconds since last epoch, and last epoch is 1st January 1970. And the other 3 functions, that is isfile, isdirectory, and islink, just checks whether the given path is a regular file or not, is a regular directory or not, or is a regular link, is a symbolic link or not. I hope this video was beneficial. If it is so, then please like it, share it with your friends, and also please support me by subscribing to my channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will be notified by my future videos. I have mostly covered all the functions from the module os.path, but I will check once again if there are any more useful functions left that I did not cover. I will do that if it is so. So please stay tuned for upcoming videos on this series of videos about common path name manipulations from the module os.path. And if there are no other functions, useful functions left that I can possibly cover, then I will move on to some other topic of the Python standard library, which I am not sure which that will be. I will decide later on. So thanks for watching, and until the next video, take care and bye.